Hello everyone, it certainly is a pleasure to always speak to you, and my bottom of my heart is always for all of you, and appreciate you taking your time out and viewing these videos and going after your health issues, because nothing's perfect in one way of looking at it, and yet everything's perfect. So it's just that sort of thing that you have to take this on and write it. Those that really take it on good really do well. And yeah, there's a lot of ups and downs, and you know, it's just amazing the process that you have to go through to get well. And the problem today is people are so more advanced in their toxicities and in their genetics and everything that we're fighting for that. A lot of you guys that are doing so well, Dimitri, you guys, I hear great things about your group. You guys are kicking butt, but you guys got all the brain power, and I love that. So, listen, I want to thank you. I hope you like a little memorabilia there. We're going to put up some more things. We've got some other interviews. Got another interview with Dr. Jensen at my office, and you know, where we were playing around a little bit, and so you know, some fun things. A lot of you have asked me about Roger, so let me bring you up to date on Roger Liepart. You know, he was quite a community guy, strong German kind of fella. Yeah, big guy, actually. And if you see the video, you almost want to cry if you've seen his journey. Incredible journey. And I've got another one even better to a certain point, C3, C4. He was a C4, C5 quad, which gives you a little of this. He didn't realize how much of this he was getting. He didn't realize he was starting to do all kinds of things with his upper nervous system. He lost his connection after 30-some years in a chair. And so he didn't realize that till someone came up and said, do you realize how much movement you're doing? You know, it's been a struggle a lot of years. And I've lived in my office. I've lived in little 13-foot Scotty travel trailers. My Volkswagen vans. I've done all kinds of things to survive, you know. And sometimes had to go and get employment somewhere just to pay the bills. Lived in my offices, stuff like that. And so it's always been a fight to stay here. So what do you guys, I tell you what, I appreciate happy practice. You know, I love people with awareness. And interesting, you caught that about our phone numbers. I've always been a stable kind of guy. It's the state that's always been the problem. And of course, in the earlier years, it's about finances. And I don't run from things. If you noticed, I'm not good at running. I'm good at facing. And truth is a hard thing to swallow. So back in the day, I was financing Roger's herbs. I was paying for him, and I was paying for this other quad we were running with him simultaneously. And so many people without money that I was going bankrupt, which I did. I ended up going bankrupt doing this. So there was a point where I couldn't help Roger anymore with the herbs, but he had already got to a great level. He knew the raw. Had been a year on it. Look at the tremendous, I still have the x-rays here to show you the incredible bone regeneration. I mean, this is amazing stuff. Just to watch what his body did overnight, pull that spine straight. This was a 28-degree healed fracture that pulled itself straight, and even with this other leg, because with this fracture he had, it pulled this leg up 2 inches. It was amazing that the body, I mean, when you see things like that, the body can do it, like goes, whoa, wow, where can we go with this? I mean, incredible stuff. So I didn't have any money to help him and everyone else, so I had to tell him, you know, just stay on the diet. I can't afford the herbs. I'm going bankrupt. And so he worked at the sheriff's department, and the sheriff's department moved into the mall down here. And he started eating away from the raw. He started eating Chick-fil-A sandwiches and stuff like this. And I kind of lost a little contact with him because I was going through my tough times. And I heard he got a UTI, urinary tract infection, from all the proteins, of course. And he went back to his infectious control medical doctor, which is kind of a halfway friend of mine. He actually convinced me to get back practicing when I was working in hospitals. And Roger had been on vancomycin, top dog with the antibiotics. Well, he put him back on it. Guess what happened? He killed him. Flat killed him, in my opinion. He flat killed him. And so you'll appreciate this one. So they had this memorial service in a kind of like a center down here, a recreational center. And I'll be damned if they didn't put that medical doctor on stage and praised him for all the years he helped Roger with the antibiotics. And I did go to that, and it was all I could do to not stand up and say, praise him, he killed him. You know, and that's where we're at. And this is just one of hundreds and hundreds of experiences I've had that toodles my mind against the allopathic community and what they've done. And what we see in the stories from you guys, and it's just overwhelming. And anybody with a half a brain that starts sifting through this medical madness is going to pull back and realize there's some serious problems here that no one's looking at and no one's taking control. Our legal system's buying into it like everybody else. So they come after people like me instead of the real killers. And so that's a problem. And you'll have to forgive me because there are some great medical doctors. We work with some of them. And these guys are to be praised because they're lifting themselves up and awakening to the lymphatic system and acidosis. And they're going to do well. They're going to be well fit to help people even in emergencies. If they can let go of a lot of the allopathic thinking, because it has to change. So you see why I do this. And just a little reason why I do this. A sad case, because look at where he was. Who knows? His next stage was walking, no question. And so this is some sad stories, and I've got a whole lot of them. But then I've got a whole lot of great ones too. I want to try to hurry up and get through some of these questions because I'm so far behind, guys. I apologize greatly, but I'm so busy. There's so many critically ill people out here that I need your help. I need all you beautiful people on YouTube, Facebook that's kicking butt, that's working with people, healing people. I got a testimony that one of my students out there helped a guy overcome his cancer. Right on and rock. That's what this is about. And I love all of you guys. And those that are suffering, hang in there, guys. You can get this. Don't give up. Put your power behind it. Put your will behind it. Put your knowingness behind it. Know you'll be well. Don't take buts, ands, ifs. Don't live in that world. You be the power that moves life. And you'll do well. Rita, I want to thank you again for your letter here. She was on a monomelon diet. She did really well with that. You know, up and down with this sort of thing. Everything you say is true. My meditation and peace I feel. Absolutely, sweetheart. Thank you so much for these comments. It really helps us, but it helps to show the world how important this level of thinking is right now in today's times. That's why it's brought out. Nothing's brought out. Notice when doors are closed to you sometimes and you'll wonder why you didn't know this earlier and things like that. Well, it's all in the progress of your unfoldment, your spirituality, and the whole 9 yards. When that door's meant to open, it comes wide open right in front of your eyes. Some people choose not to look at that sometimes. I've probably done that a few times and went, oops, or I pushed on a door. You know, one thing you never do is when a door doesn't want to open when you're pushing, step back and walk off, because I've done, you know, push the door open and go, oops, didn't mean to, you know, realized why the door didn't open for me. So it's another thing. Don't push, let things go. Just be the vehicle for the divine, because you are the divine. So between being the divine and also being that vehicle for the divine, that brings that love element, that higher awareness to the planet, and helps everyone get better and well, and the doors start opening up to you. So you'll see a lot of you guys, doors are going to start opening up in worlds you've just never seen before. And it's just exciting for a lot of you guys that are developing your spirituality with this, because I run with the masters. These guys are helping you in every way. There's some incredible beings out there right now. Even the ascended masters are very busy. Saint Germain, go on down that line. Amazing. Even Lord Hilleron. Okay, so I want to... This was interesting, someone sent to me, and I'm going back up to Shibshawana here in the fall. And I remember one of the healers there were giving a lecture on the spirochetes with limes and everything. And by the time he was done, everybody was like this, going, "Oh my God, I'm doomed and gloomed, I'm dead, and nothing I can do about the spirochetes." That's all bull hockey, this limes biofilm crap. You know what? Don't buy into these kind of craps that there's nothing, you're sentenced to death, there's nothing you can do with the spirochetes and all this crap. That's not true. Your immune system is fantastic. You just got to get it fixed. And where is the immune system? Spirochetes are not dealt with in the blood, are they? Where are they dealt with? Oh, the lymphatic system, and where the most of the immune cells are. Absolutely. Your body is all set to clean itself. You just have to open up the doors. And that's the problem. We're talking about blockages here. You know, most of what we're talking about, obstructions. Remember this, the obstruction to the flow of energy equals dis-ease. Energy is the main creator of everything. We can say that energy is consciousness, energy is intelligence. Hard for the average person to stretch that far, but in quantum physics they've already stretched that far and said, So it's that understanding that all life is aware. Where everybody looks at everybody's eyes. You know, some animals eat the eyes out of other animals first. You know, that's where the light comes. That's where the God force comes. But that's what all life is. Just a reflection of the divine, just a piece of that, experiencing life as an individual. That's all it is. That's why we're all one. And when you get to that point, your love will encase the world. And it doesn't matter. You know, divine love is important to have because that's your sukkah. Even though it comes out to the world, you must live in divine love to have the nirvanic experience of God consciousness, or you can't get it. So you have to merge with it all. That means the little self, put the little self in the chair in the corner. It's there when you need it. The big self, the all of the all, your greatness, bring that out. Bring the light that you are, the love, the healing power that you are. Change your attitude of how you look at things. Because that's the only thing that's limiting your ability to know yourself totally, is your opinions, your concepts, your idealisms. So this is why that exists. This is why the mind is very programmable. Because it makes for the drama. It makes for the soap opera of life on planet Earth. But it isn't who you are. Remember that. You're the divine being that gives out love and light and beauty. And be that. And your life will be great. For those that don't want that, okay. We don't live in the world of spirochetes and biofilms and there's nothing you can do, and oh my God. I've never seen anybody have a problem with Lyme's, lupus, fibromyalgia. This is all systemic acidosis, blah, 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 blah. Now here's another question someone asked me about MMS. Did you guys read what MMS is? You know, your sodium chlorides and your chlorine dioxide, or whatever it is. I don't know why people mess with things like this. I really don't. I just think we're lost in this world of treatment. And we fall into these sort of things. Or we can go in and talk to a guy with clays. And we were talking about his ingestion of clays. Clays have been definitely used for baths, which I think are very important. I think a clay bath is incredible to pull toxins out of the body, no question. Internal consumption of clays, disagree a little bit with that. These are very inorganic elements in some way of looking at this. You know, everything is magnetic. Everything has a certain magnetic energy that it gives off just for existing. Because you can't exist and have no energy, no nothing. Because nothing does not exist. Everything exists, but within the one. So it's hard to describe that. But energy is at the core of everything. That's the awareness that comes out and makes itself into forms, into shapes. And this all has detectable magnetics. So minerals are the least magnetically alive on the planet. The least. They're great. I like gemstones. It's cool what you can do with gemstones. I used to teach some gemstone classes. And of course, years ago, I used to break up rubies and powder gemstones for healing. Very inorganic substances not well absorbed. So this whole thing is absorption. Now, how do we get absorption of minerals? Because we know minerals are good for us, right? Are they? You know, one of the issues, if you study some of the old books, is a lot of the old greats disagreed with the mineral concepts. You know, if you look more to the salts, you'll see another level of awareness. So if you look at the bile cell salts, the tissue salts, look at that consciousness and study that a little bit. I use those too. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So all these things are all levels of frequencies and stuff, but take yourself to the highest level, especially right now. Essential to get well. Oh, this is a good one. You'll love this one. Remember this one? This is the movie coming out about Steve Jobs and Mr. Ashton. Oh, hospitalized after following Steve Jobs' fruitarian diet. Whew. How interesting of a karma would it be if Ashton had a pancreatic issue, playing Steve Jobs, who had a pancreatic issue? Could be quite interesting. Careful, pick your roles. So this young man has got to get his health together. If you can't stand a fruit diet, and he probably, and this brings up a good point, you can't jump from an omnivorous diet, a standard American or a standard world diet, highly acidic, lots of protein, lots of dairy products and stuff like that, into an all-fruit diet and not have a problem. Remember I told you a long time ago how a lady came to me, a young woman, went from New York City, went to an ashram down in the Bahamas, fasted, fruitarian, cleaning, all that, and all her fingernails literally just fell off. Well, some of you are experiencing your hair coming out. Absolutely. Others are seeing it grow like crazy. Why? Because those things that are weak in nature are terminated. Got to get with that one, medical doctors. Things that are weak are terminated, including cells. Okay, we can rebuild. We can create new blueprints, if you will, or we can move to the higher level of the blueprint of that cell beyond its genetic thinking. Look at how creation is put together. I have a reason why I teach how creation is put together, because it'll help you fit into the levels of how cells are created, where they get their thinking, but where they get their originalities. So it helps a little bit to somewhat understand. We couldn't possibly know it all. But I thought I had a big laugh over this one. Hospital because of the fruitarian lifestyle. Negative forces are all around, guys. Be strong. Know who you are. Don't let anybody in. A lot of entities around. A lot of things going on. What was that on Fox News about the lady trying to break her lease because of the possession of the house by a disembodied entity? Pretty nasty when I hear. You know what? Get with that. That's the astral world, and there's a world in between this world and the next world, and it's in between. Those people that die hard, there's a lot of masters. I don't know if you know this, but there's a lot of masters that work with people that have airplane crashes and stuff. All these souls are shocked out of their bodies, and so there's a lot of beings helping with that. But there's a lot of beings stuck in between the two worlds, you know, and you can see them. Oh, this is Tyra. Tyra from Canada. Can you please tell me what to do to heal a stage 2 prolapsed uterus? I am scared. Too much contradicting info out there. Well, there shouldn't be any contradicting information about how you strengthen the body. I mean, that's ridiculous. But particularly connective tissue and skeletal tissue. Now let's go back to a lot of videos where we discuss how you restructure or re-strengthen structure, including the connective tissue, tendons, everything that holds everything in place. Key word here, parathyroid gland. Key word. Second key word is get rid of acidosis, because that's what removes calcium, is acidosis. Remember, it's the lifetime struggle from base and acid, or from alkaline chemistry to acid chemistry, the two opposites, the eternal battle of male and female, you know, between those two, and you see that in chemistry constantly. You know, if you look at life, it's all about these variances of pHs. At one pH, a certain element acts a certain way, at another pH, a compound will act another way. It's just all about the pH effect. And that's, I think, is part of where man's going wrong in his chemistry thinking, you know, especially allopathic, who looks at alkalosis instead of acidosis more. And you got to look at acidosis more than alkalosis. Most pharmaceuticals should definitely be alkaline in its nature, if you can even achieve that level of thinking or working with that. So you want a sweetheart, I would douche with the heel oil tea a little bit and clean that way. At the same time, get your kidneys and get your adrenals up. I mean, this is the lymph system. When you start losing tone, when you start losing strength, when you start getting pain and swelling, this is all acidosis doing this. I mean, as a general rule. So acidosis is what has to be corrected, and this is when you have an obstruction to the flow or filtration of lymph in your kidneys. And when your kidneys, and notice more and more, and you guys are seeing that, and I'm hearing it from medical doctors and homeopaths the world over, now that you put our attention on kidneys, that answers all, we're starting to see that whole thing. And I think that's the key. Whether you can explain it all or not, who cares? But you know, the big deal is get those kidneys filtering. Remember, you want to see sediment in that urine. Get that moving. Clean the wall of the uterus through the kidneys. And strengthen everything in the body. You strengthen by removing acidosis and bringing in nutrition. Nutrition is simply just living food. Full of nutrition, this idea that we have to pack nutrition into the human body and somehow that's going to cure us of all our ills is ridiculous thinking. We are way beyond nutritional needs, way beyond that, and you guys get that. And that's important. It's why you're getting successful. But there are humps and dumps. Don't, you know, nothing's without that. Detoxification is up and down, no question. But if you ride it, and you ride that wild bronco with that robe on, you're going to win. And you're going to be successful. And that's the key, is get your joy back, get your happiness back. So we can stand as one world. And then you might be surprised who will visit us. I'm just saying. My husband left me a few months ago. This is a sad case. My husband just left me a few months ago, too. Well, there goes her adrenal glands. And, honey, you need your adrenal glands. Well, you didn't need him anyway. Get your adrenal glands up there and get them strengthened up, sweetheart. She's been very hard. And also now have tennis elbow and sciatic. So already you know that she's not moving her lymph. She's exercising her joints, but now she's losing her joints. Remember, I'll give you a good example. My son is going through this cold and flu-like thing because he eats like crap most of the time. So, you know, he comes down with it, but he's working, he goes out to the gym. Gets up every morning at 6:30 and goes works at the gym. Whoa! What was funny is his healing crisis and his cold and flu-like symptoms, every joint and muscle ached. And I said, that's because you did not. You're not filtering your lymph system. And therefore, when you're feeling all these acids now coming out of what you've been creating. And he's just now starting to get that, understand that, of how you can create acidosis or acids, but do you remove them? And that's where you get into all what medical doctors loosely calls this ridiculous concept of diseases and understand what's up here, what's going on here. You know, the mind loves labels. Hard to live without labels. So my love goes out to you, sweetheart. Her nervous system is shot. Get your adrenals back up. That's what's up. You didn't need to get into the self again. You're a beautiful woman. Get into yourself. You know, if somebody doesn't love you for what you are, go away. You don't need them anyway. 10, 20 years down the road with the same person that you discover that makes it a lot harder to get away. So now's the time when you find someone or someone doesn't love you, get them out of your world and get your world back to the self again. Love the self. Not egotistically. The fact that you're a beautiful being, that you come out of God and that you represent that issue. And you must represent that issue to all of life. Absolutely. There's too many people representing the other side right now, not knowing about that. Oh, this is some movie, La Bella Verde, The Green Beautiful. Ooh. Got some questions here. Losing weight and fruit detox was an issue for myself and some of my patients. Yeah, this is true, you know. Weight loss is an issue. You have to not consider that as an issue because you can't let weight interfere. Because for those people that are not dying with cancer or all these kind of serious chronic problems, Okay, spend some time with some avocados, some vegetables, and maybe come down slower or build up. But what's the gig with excessive thinness? Except, besides the acids chewing up your tissues, malabsorption. And malabsorption comes in the world when the lymph system backs up, right? Right. Why? Because that's the lymph system in the bowel wall. And so that gets hardened after years of not moving anywhere. This is all about obstructions. Plain and simple. What kind of obstructions are we talking about? Arnold Ehret calls it mucus. Well, that's exactly the point. That's the lymph system, absolutely. And that's what you see, and that's what Arnold Ehret saw coming out of every hole a person has when they detox. Mucus, absolutely. But mucus is protective to what? Proteins and acids. That's the most what you see the immune response to. Just saying. So you got to work with cleaning up that bowel. And some people might be a little thin at first, but you can put on good weight later. The big key is focus on cleaning that body out and restoring proper pH balance and health. Get the pain out, get the swelling out, get the inflammation out, in other words. That's all acidosis. Get the tumors out. And then put on weight, clean the bowel up. You have to realize that the bowels are chronic in people. This is a bad thing. I picked up a few nuts here over the last weekend. I thought, we went to the health food store and bought some nuts, and now I'm going, friggin' nuts. But you got to get rid of the proteins for a while and get your body back into a state of health, and then go back if you like. Put on the weight all you want, but put it on right this time. Put on muscle, don't put on fat, but fix your body. And a lot of people don't understand that. Well, this world has got to get with this. And medical doctors have to get with this whole process of detoxification, what it means, instead of sitting there negatively. The only time I'm negative on a medical doctor is when they do something, when they're continually doing something that's hurting people. That's when you see me rally. But as a rule, look at this vet that lost both legs and both arms. These surgeons put on 2 new arms for this dude. This is not what I'm talking about. These people are incredible. These surgeons are cool people. I love that side of life. That's medical. That's true medical. But the use of pharmaceuticals to treat man's acidosis and conditions like this is part of the problem, not the solution. So you have to separate what's good about a modality that has so much wrong with it. And that part is good, but you can't carry that good part into general practicing. Most medical doctors, if you listen to this, if you want to treat symptoms, get into homeopathy. Homeopathy orders non-toxic. You don't have to carry all this insurance because of the fear of killing or hurting people. Now you need to get in our field and where we don't hurt people. We don't hurt people, we make people well. At least we certainly give it a big rally and try. Some people it's unrepairable. Not only because they're unrepairable, or they went allopathically, their body's ravished with chemo or radiation. I saw that new thing about mastectomies and lumpectomies this morning, all with radiation. But if you notice behind the tone, not a lot of women are living past 5 years anyway. So it's just another one of those things. I cannot take vegetables since, and I get this one, I cannot take vegetables since I am on fruits. One vegetable salad after 2 months of fruits gave me abdominal cramps. That's what I'm saying. Every level, it's hard to judge, and I noticed there was a lot of judgment early on about this, but to tell you the truth, until you ride the ride, can you make that statement? I concur with this individual because I've been there, and I couldn't go back. I've worked myself back. Wasn't a lot of fun to work myself back, be honest with you. Wasn't a lot of fun. My body didn't like it. But I'm more balanced today, and I help people better. Before, I was so strong with my commitment and my self-discipline that I ran people off. And that's not how you become a good healer. You really need the balance in there. And it's hard to maintain a balance when you're young and you're tearing something up because you just haven't got that maturity of getting your butt kicked enough, So I understand what this person's up against. Muscle cramps in legs and obvious loss of energy. Well, that's what I found with vegetables too. Blended vegetables, green smoothies, banana salad could slow down the weight loss, but they will also decrease my energy level. See, that's the problem. When you're used to this high level of energetics from fruit and you step down, it's like, I know sometimes I always eat a salad for lunch, or try to, just because that's what you can grab and go out there. But the thing is that it's just finding the good salads and without the pesticides and everything else, and find the organics. Jason's Deli has some good organics and stuff like that. So that's where I go most of the time for lunches. But sometimes in the afternoon I start dragging from the salad. Now, had I been all on dead foods and potatoes and meats and all that and went to salads, I'd feel a lot better. But when I go from the salads to the fruits, I feel a lot better still. And then when I go back, it's like, oh, now I know. But there are those that can't handle that high level. Now, that's okay. We all have to work toward our health and cleaning the body out of all these toxins and crap like this. So it is a bit of an issue here. Nothing's perfect, and we're all working together to understand how we can maintain these higher levels, get our bodies well, find balance, all of that stuff, guys. But you're experiencing just what I did. Romania. This is S-O-R-I-N-A. Numbness of lips and tip of tongue appearing here and there during the fruit detox. 2 months of fruits up to now. Are because of pesticides of the fruits, because of the neurotoxin released from the body, other body reactions. Could be a little of all of those. That's why you wash these fruits really good with pesticides. I don't know. It could be a stomach coming up. Could be something in the tongue, some kind of toxins in the tongue that's pulling out, and you're astringing that tongue. Could give me that little bit of a numbness going on. It could be coming deeper into the body, into the stomach area, maybe. It could be toxins you already have in there coming out. It could be some of that. So a little of all those things, perhaps. Try the brain and nerve too, just to strengthen that nervous system up while you're going through that. The quality of hair is due to the pH. The quality of hair is due to the pH of the body. One 10-year-old boy changed his hair appearance from smooth to very curly after chickenpox and 1 month of diet. Isn't that funny? Remember I told you about that T-cell lymphoma case I had one time, and she was an herbalist. She had an herb company. And she called me. She said, I've just been diagnosed with T-cell lymphoma. And I said, well, you make our herbs, and you've got all your herbs, and tear it up. By the way, eat all raw, go on grape fast and stuff like that. Well, 3-4 months later, she didn't have T-cell lymphoma. But within the scan of about 5-6 months, she had salt and pepper hair, kind of like mine. Then she went to black hair, and then her hair started turning blonde. And she said, I can't believe it. I was born with blonde hair. So, chemistry, acids, pH balances change hair texture and color? I'm just saying. We don't know what truth is. We really don't have a clue. When I look around and I see things like that, and I see things like Roger's leg and back pulling straight and realigning an old fracture healed like this, a solid bone structure, not solid, but but apparently solid, cells pulling itself straight. Wow. I love it. I love it. The amazing human body. Is the female body so much different from the male one? I don't think so. I really don't in terms of physiology and anatomy. Yeah, steroids are a little different, but nowadays it's hard to tell. A lot of men have a lot of estrogen, and a lot of women have a lot of testosterone. So I don't know. I mean, there are obviously sexual differences and stuff like that, and there are differences in the psychic. I mean, the female has been suppressed because that's the male ego, but in reality, the female is how we know love. The female is how we know truth, and the female is how we know honesty. Now, I had a female federal judge that made a ruling in court against me, and then she wouldn't put it in writing because she knew she was wrong. I had the law on my side, I had the Supreme Court on my side, I had case law on my side, and I had statutory law on my side. And she knew she was wrong. She didn't want to write it up in an order, though, because she knew what we would do with that. She was half honest. But when you lose the female, you lose society. You lose the family. Because the female is the stability of everyone. They're the caregivers. And a lot of people don't give females due respect of how they suffer emotionally and stuff. So we all need to get and love each other on all levels. Respect each other's differences and similarities, too. In terms of balancing pH in general, I can't say that's a difference in doing that, dear one. Women seems to get it quicker. Well, because they're more self-oriented. I've said this before. I found myself at Home Depot many a morning and I forgot to brush my hair. I was just a man. We get up and ready to go. I'm going. Well, a woman's more inner, more reserved, more watchful, more in tune with her own body. But sure, women have to be careful about narcissism, absolutely. So you have to be careful. Everything has its own duality to it. But the female principle is essential to stay with that honesty, integrity. That's what you depend upon from your mother, from your grandmother, from your wife, from your lover, from your sister. Integrity, honesty. Those are the people you trust. Males, hell, they'll sell themselves for a buck. Some of them will. I've had more male federal judges corrupt themselves over nothing, knowing that I'm going to come after them someday for fraud. Oh yeah. Oh no, we're not done having fun here. This is M. Mac. In regards to the emotional detox, ooh, yeah, tough one sometimes. How do you not stuff the emotions and not take action or create bad karma when it comes out? Well, because you don't pay any, you let it just flow through. You observe it and give it love. See you later, alligator, because you're in the living now. The past doesn't matter. These are just thought forms in the causal body that have to be ran through and dealt with and eliminated because you created them. So you just don't give it any attention. You just let it come out. Oh, well, emotions are coming out. If you have pictures to that, then you can deal with those pictures, give them love, understand. Oh, I see why I had that feeling. Even in the worst trauma, you have to let it all go because you're the living presence right now. And the more you hook into the all of the all, the God consciousness of all, that's your sukkah. Nothing else matters because nothing else can touch it. It's such a nirvanic experience. You can't touch it. And that's as much as we can get while still maintaining a human body. I got to the point where I almost got over that point and couldn't come back. And it was tough to stop. I did everything I could to stop. And I finally did. So I wouldn't worry about the bad karma. Just don't give it any power. Don't give anything any power. You don't want to be real. Power up. Your attention is power. When you put your attention on something, you're powering something up. And then the mind comes in, the emotions comes in because you're in creation. So all these bodies come into play whenever you're observing something. I'm going to have to go. Oh, I have so much fun with you guys. I got so much to go over here. So, yeah, Mac, don't sweat the small stuff. Just let everything go in your life. Just let everything go and be. Always be yourself. Be now. Be in the moment. Be the God force, however you perceive those things. The hardest thing to do is to live in the present moment without thought, without feeling. Use them when you need them. Fold them when you don't. Yeah. So I'm going to have to cut off here, unfortunately. I wish you had some more information on wisdom teeth. Well, all I have to say to this is that I'm a victim of the same thing, where I haven't moved the lymph system deep enough into my jaw and my teeth here. And of course, I was raised on milk, so I always had sinus. I've always had congestion, had rosacea for years, dandruff for years, all that crap. I didn't know what it was growing up. No one told me it was the milk, the migraines, the constipation, the whole fun growing up with that kind of stuff, the obesities, fighting all that stuff. Didn't know any better. So I don't know what to say. You know, you've got to clean deep into the tissues. There's no quick remedy when you're dealing with your teeth, because it's the same scenario with teeth as it is with connective tissue, as it is with bones. Acids pull calcium out and damage cells. End of story. So you have to clean all of that out. And so you have a lot of different choices when you look at when you have teeth that are impacted or you have a heavy abscess. You can work on cleaning the abscess out. If the tooth is already breaking down, it's a weak tooth, very difficult to change. If you're a strong constitution person, I've seen enamel regrowth in here, but it's rare, let me tell you. And maybe down the road, we get these bodies healthier, we'll see a lot different picture in the mouth. So all I know is that you got choices, you know, pull, root canals, implants. I've looked at the zirconium, no way. There's just so many things in there. None of it's really pleasurable, unfortunately. So, yeah, I wish I knew more to help you in that respect. You're always going to, if you're after that, you know, one, you got to move lymph because you can't rebuild in an acid medium, number one. Number two, parathyroid. Get that parathyroid so calcium utilization is up there. So not only are you going to pull this infection out, which is the lymph system, you're going to have to regrow the bone because this is what happens in most cases is these acids what? Break down what? Cells and sucks calcium out, breaks down bone? Absolutely. So if you're going to fix teeth, you got to fix what? The same thing you have to fix if you have a tumor. The same thing you have to fix if you have Lyme's, lupus, fibromyalgia, arthritis. Same thing if you have any type of pain or swelling. Absolutely. Same thing. Same thing. I was really hoping I wouldn't have to get this surgery. Yeah, let me tell you. I know. If you have time, go for it. You know, use the lymphs and pull and pull. Got to clean the gut up. Everything that you know to be true now in detoxification, watching these videos, you've got to go after that aggressively, and you have a possibility of saving that. But as a rule, tough, no question. Tough, 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 tough. But they are severely impacted. See, that's what I'm saying. When they're that bad, it's going to be a while. And this is, you know, takes a while to clean up, so, and you're already popping some Tylenols. Yeah, and they do. Amoxicillin is a common antibiotic. Tylenol, and if you mix a Tylenol with an Advil, it cuts sharp pain without going into your narcotics too much. Yeah, I know. I tell you, I've been in a dentist chair more than I'd ever really want to think about, so I know what you're talking about. I'm going to detox afterwards, and absolutely, because you got your you still pulling the tooth. It's just like removing and doing a lumpectomy. Doesn't cure the problem, but in that local area it does. So just remember, you're like me and so many other people. We have lymphatic problems here that are chewing on us. I don't know where I stand, but I have to probably cut down here. Thanks. This is Indigo Sound 78. Wow, Dr. Morse is looking a lot younger. Too bad the video's old. I know. I've got some out there trying to show you a little bit of what we went through. Thanks for peace only. I had to tell you about Roger. I felt, you know, I've had some things that made me want to regurgitate pretty bad. Some sad things. Me and him ran a radio show for 2 years together, by the way. He invited me. He was doing a radio show, and he invited me on, and he said, my God, this information, and you can rebuild quads. And he just freaked out, and he said, how about you and I hook up and do our own show? And so we did for a couple of years. It was a lot of fun doing radio. But with that said, you know, life is ever-changing, and the only stability you have is yourself. Just remember that. And you want to keep yourself happy, free of the ego, full of truth, honesty, and integrity. When someone comes up to you, you represent the God force. And you want to demonstrate that. Keep yourself in balance. Only you can. And so work these programs as you can. You always have our help. You have our love here. You have the crew here. As much as we can help you, we're going to help you. We're doing everything we can. So I love you all. I hope you have a great day. Maybe I can record if no one shows up today. Baraka Bashad. May the blessings be and love you all. Bye-bye. Of course, he can... Are you in?
Hey.
Are you learning your alphabet? Did you just pop here? You know they say that you can pop in and out of your body. Now, are you one of those
I've had that outer body, inner body experience.
I heard you were a holy man. You just pop here whenever we need you. Whenever you make things happen around here. Clients say you just pop in their kitchen, so whenever you want them to do raw. And
absolutely.
That's pretty good, isn't it? What's up anyway? What's going on?
I'm here because, hey everybody, I'm here to let you know that there's a cancellation.
So I'm not retired? I thought you come here to let
there's
me
an
know
appointment
I can retire.
There's an appointment cancellation today. So just for the next 45 minutes.
Oh. Well, okay.
Good news.
Okay.
More videos. More Q&As.
Carry on.
All right?
Okay.
Cool. Have fun.
Now. Yeah. I like that progressive commercial and the girl, you know, that does the progressive commercial, and then she's kind of hiding in the dark and says, I can still see you. All right, man. Well, you heard it from the elf. We have about 45 more minutes. Cool beans. All right. Let me see here. This is from Sebastian. Thank you. I don't know where to buy organic locally. Yeah, good question. Ideally, I would have my own fruit trees, absolutely. Berry bushes. Wouldn't that be cool? To have a big grove of fruit trees and berry trees. They're the least invasive. They fertilize themselves. Of course, you can take care of some organic stuff there and really make that tree healthy. But there's so much. You could have the most divine fruit in the world. And berries. We had blackberries all over the farm. I would sit there and eat blackberries all the time when I was working. Bush says, it must take forever for a fruit tree to grow. Well, my orange trees, you need about 6-7 years for a tree to get good size. So I buy them big. I don't buy them little. I buy them. I'll be dead before that little one gets big. I want a big tree so I can enjoy it. So I'm like Mutt Lang. We buy our trees big. I do buy organic barley. Yeah, I can see Mutt Lang carrying these huge trees by helicopter. Man, what a guy. His place in Switzerland, he had done so well. And when I pulled in his place, I was with him. And I'm looking, I'm going, you and me are just two peas in a pod. My God, the tremendous amount of plants and flowers Mutt planted. Just beautiful, beautiful, staggeringly beautiful. I do buy organic barley grass powder. I don't know if the powder is as good as eating the grass. Well, nothing as good as eating the freshness. But certainly if that powder is taken care with from oxidation, it'll last a while, absolutely. And then there's always natural preservatives in plants, like the God's Blend naturally preserves itself. Pretty good stuff. Sebastian, my man. Hi, I am looking for the ideal human diet for health and longevity. Well, I have to say that, and we talked about the natural hygienic diet. No, the natural hygienic people truly believe herbs are toxic. That was their big thing. I'm very familiar with the natural hygienic movement because basically I've been kind of living that lifestyle most of my life, and very aware of all the natural hygienic people, from Fried, and too bad about him, but I mean all of them, Sheldon, Tilden, all of these greats. And spent a lot of time at the fasting clinics. The one in Bonita Springs down here called the Shangri-La. It's not there anymore. But still, it was an incredible place at the time, because in the 70s, where could you find information on raw foods? Society was steeped into the American Dietetics Association's bullcrap and on their way to killing themselves. And this is like a light of fresh air saying, oh, you don't have to. An angelic light of consciousness saying, look over here. And natural hygiene has been plowing along pretty good. Unfortunately, since Harvey Diamond, it got a little bumpy, and I don't know where it's now. But the natural hygienic movement is a good, well-balanced movement, because you have your fruits and your veggies. I'm taking you guys up to levels for those that want the more spiritual experience, but also for those at this moment that have to have that deeper level of cleansing. Do you maintain fruitarianism? I don't care. Frankly, I doubt if anyone that's outside of the tropical areas can, to be honest with you. I think it's just too difficult. The influences of environments, everything. So I don't know. I don't know where we are, and the quality of the food certainly, but we have to hit it. We have to break in that. We have to send a message to all the farmers to start growing good fruit and vegetables, especially good fruit and berries. Easier to grow. You have more yield per acre. You ever look at that where you saw 1 acre of property feeds 1 or 2 cows that can feed, say, 30 people. That same few acres and vegetables can feed several hundred people, and that same acreage and fruit trees can feed several thousand people. So from economics, from everywhere else, from the care, do a garden, see how it is, how much work a garden offers, and then you've got the weeds. You can always plant the marigolds and plant things around there for the bugs and stuff, but there was a famous Native American chief, and it wasn't Sitting Bull, but he said, you want me to plant into my mother's skin? You want me to rip her skin open and plant And I forget how that went, but it went on that way, you know. It's an interesting concept. So it's enough to say that each level has its level of thinking. I think that a good vegetable, a salad at night is great. I think having fruit through the day is great, or get to you where you have, ideally if you're healthy, I think a fruit meal for breakfast, a nice big salad meal with a green drink for lunch, or maybe a baked sweet potato or something, and then a fruit meal at night is the optimum in my opinion, because at night you don't want to put a heavy meal on you. However, in detoxification, to get people to do this and to get people through this, particularly in the winters when it's cold, nighttime brings on the emotions, brings on the uncertainty. Remember the darkness. The light makes you feel empowered. So, in the day, you can control yourself better. You have more self-discipline. At night, those emotions of family get-togethers come in. That's when, so I've changed that a little bit to help you with that, to get some semblance of stability on your road to Wellville. Some of you are having to do fruits all the way through. Okay? This is the trouble, is getting our good fruit. No question. I made this comment before there, Sebastian, of all the people I see, and I've seen a fair amount of them, and Dr. Jensen saw a fair amount more. The guy was incredible. You see him on the video there? Did you like that? That's old Doc Jensen. He when he was alive, he was here a lot, and I have a lot of great stories. I have another video with him, another interview with him by Fox News, by the way, and in my office down here on the water years ago, and it was a good interview, so I'm hoping to find that somewhere around here and put that up for you so you can see that. We have one on a clinic in Portugal. We have some clippings from that. I think we have some clippings with a bunch of us docs on some things. So let's see what we can find and put together for you. You might like them, maybe not, I don't know. Maybe they're too personal, but it just shows you the interaction of other countries and how we deal with that, and Dr. Jensen and all that. But of the longevity people, from what I personally witnessed, the Islanders have always outdone everyone, always. And I've told you several cases, and the oldest ones that come into my office, full walking, full ready. Remember, a 102-year-old black man ready to get married for the 5th time. 102. Came in like I did, Sprite, and it's like, you're what? 100 and what? You know, and I mean, that's the way it is. And so these older people that were raised on fruit diets, those guys are going to keep living and living. I know them in their 90s, individuals from the islands that are up there that are well. And it's like, and with a little help in cleaning up and fixing a few things, and right along we go. So I just think it's all cool stuff. I don't see that in northern climates. The 100-year-olds in northern climates are generally in nursing homes. So I don't know, you know, everybody can argue stuff, I guess. The very models of super health all eat a little meat and eggs in their diet. Well, I don't think that I don't think we have enough of the others to make that kind of judgment, to be honest with you. I really don't. But I know a lot of individuals that were born exclusively on fruit and raised on fruit, and boy, they are incredible. They're in their 90s. They look in their 60s. I mean, you don't see this sort of thing like you're saying. I'll say this though, that if you're eating 80% raw of your salads and your fruits, if you have a little eggs once in a while and you have a little dead animal once in a while, okay, who cares? I mean, no one's over someone with a baseball bat, and if someone's egotistically trying to break someone down with, you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that, come on, we got to grow up with that. But everyone is different, and it should be your choice in what level you want to achieve. And the best way is to do what this girl did. She's on fruit. She knows she can't do vegetables because she already tried it. Dig in. Go into these levels. Get into these higher levels of detoxification and wellness, and then go have you some eggs and meat and see how you feel. I think for balance, I can agree with you for some people. For some people, they need some of this for balance in the moment. But remember what you need now for balance. You might not need tomorrow for balance. Don't lock yourself in like, I got to have some meat, or I'm not going to be I'm not going to be healthy or well. That's a ridiculous thinking. That locks you into that, by the way. Well, however you see things locks you into that view. That's why I say you're better off if you don't have any opinions whatsoever and you just watch and observe what's going on and reshape your mind from truth as opposed to conditioned thinking. Big difference. Most of our thinking on health is totally conditioned by the media and everything else. And let me tell you, the media is really bad right now. Mainstream media, CBS, NBC, these guys are unbelievable. These guys are why we have Obama in there. These guys don't realize what they're doing. Truth is truth, and truth has always been. And then Fox is the same way. Fair, balanced, and unafraid, or something stupid like that. How about fair, balanced, and how about truthful? How about totally truthful? Have you ever seen a TV news show ever say we're totally truthful? BBC maybe. European news. So, if you want a little leg and you want a little meat, who cares? But if you want to detox and get well, you can't have them. Isn't that funny? But as a form of balance, you could, in the future, stabilize yourself that way. And that's okay. I don't have a thing about that like some people do. But I do think a plant-based diet, more of a fruit-based diet is the key. But if you did a predominantly fruit and berry and melon-based diet with a little plant, like a little vegetables, and then you had an egg once in a while or something, or you had a piece of fish or chicken once in a while, okay. No one's going to cite anybody for that if you feel you need that for your health. But to be honest with you, there's nothing healthy about dead tissue. There's nothing healthy about eating dead, necrotic tissue. And as soon as you kill something, that's what starts to happen. For, putrefaction. And we like that. Well, there's nothing healthy about it. If you need it for balance, okay. There is so much conflicting information. Well, that's it. Forget the information. Forget what you're being taught. Experiment on yourself. Give it a run. Take 1 year. Do fruits, berries, and melons with a salad at night. Give it a year. Go back down then. Go back down to some dead tissue and some eggs. Listen, I used to, years ago, give raw egg in almond milk. Raw, non-fertile, organic egg. Raw in almond milk. Why? Because I have some 70-pounders out there. And if I want to build someone up real fast, I'm going to probably go that way. Although, that's my shortcoming too. Don't need it. But again, there's so much conflicting information. That's the thing. Forget the information. Experiment on yourself. What's good for you? What's good for you is not good for me. Not good for someone else. You're an individual. So understand the basics. Keep the basics in your mind. But then see where you fit in the scale of your spirituality and the diet required to maintain that level of spirituality. Because you'll notice as you grow, certain foods can pull you out of that, can pull you down, make you feel, take that light out of you, take that energy out of you. And the thing is no animal cooks their food before they eat it. That should be lesson number one. If you want to eat eggs and meat, eat them raw. I mean, just saying. Do you have any thoughts on this? The only thing beyond argument is the Cesarean diet because we know it works. Well, that's the thing is, I've seen so much of the tropical people and how they look. Not just at the fact that they made it to 96 or 100, plenty of people that do that, but how they look and the problems they don't have. Pretty cool stuff. Sebastian again. Are non-organic oranges, melons, and grapes okay despite the pesticides? If you wash them off, sometimes it's all we can get a hold of. Right now, there's nothing organic around here that smacks of anything that even looks good. And especially grapes, there's nothing. We hardly even have grapes right now, so I'm not going to let that stop me from eating them. I've got big, fat grapes right now. I had them yesterday here. But good stuff. Good stuff. And I don't know what to say, I mean, keep cleaning your body. The high level of flavonoids, the astringents, all the goodies in the fruits, the green drinks, these all neutralize pesticides anyway. And I've always said the power of the fruit and berry over a few little pesticides versus a diet of meats and things like that. I mean, look at all the crap that's in that. So, I mean, you can find fault with every little thing. And it is true. We have a very out of balance government. And a lot of this comes from allopathic thinking. Why are we irradiating? Why are we doing it? Oh, bacteria pathology. You know, it goes still back to that Jenner Pasteur theory of the germ. So what do? We're freaked out. China was so freaked out you were wearing masks. Don't think about the terrain. Don't think about the internal condition of the human body. Worry about God and creation's out to get me. If you feel your body full of mucus and from dairy products and stuff, don't bitch when it has to come out. This is a good friend here. This is DUSAN, Medic. Thank you, my friend. I am embarrassed to say this, but I am sweating excessively even when I am just out with my friend. I sweat under my arms really bad for no reason, but it is only under my arm 95% of the time, nowhere else. Now, what does that tell you? What role does your skin play? It's your third kidney. When your two kidneys aren't filtering because of the adrenal glands or the damage that they've incurred from high-protein diets, if you've got a good enough thyroid, guess what other kidney's going to work for you? Your skin. But why under the arms? What is found under those arms? A huge bed of septic tanks. And thank God you're sweating under your arms like that. But what that tells you, my friend, your kidneys aren't doing it for you. You've got to fix your kidneys. As soon as you fix your kidneys and get your lymph nodes starting to filter again, no more sweating like that. How about that one? Same thing with people that sweat in the hands and the feet. Absolutely. Wherever the body, if you'll notice, for some of you are learning this the hard way, but whenever you notice when the body can't get it done through the kidneys, any other hole or area that it can get it out of will do. You know, I've talked to this about black salve and things like this. When you open up a hole, it becomes a port. Because the body says, oh, the door's open, I see the light over there. Everybody, let's bring all this sewage out that way. My girlfriend's extremely tired all the time, adrenals. And you got to look at the thyroids too. If you have both of them, you're going to be really tired. Low blood pressures, low heart rates, low blood sugars. All adrenals and thyroids. At the time, she sleeps a lot. On some bad days, she sleeps close to 16 hours a day. See, I'm saying everybody's hurting out there, my God. I am trying to help her. What do you recommend? Adrenals and thyroid. Get the glandulars, go after those too. Start cleaning these acids out. Get her shifted to a living food diet so she can get some energetics from that source into the body and start cleaning her, getting her away from proteins and meats and things that rob the body of energy and acidify the body. I want to buy a lymphatic system formula and a few other ones. Always buy the kidney when you buy the lymphatics. Any other ones, but I'm not sure how to decide which one I should buy. Should I go straight for the strongest one, like a number 4? Number 4 is good. I would do number 1 capsules, lymphatic 1 capsules, and lymphatic 4 liquid. I, at the same time, do kidney capsules and a kidney liquid, or 2 kidney liquids, doesn't matter. And go after that. You want to know something for the adrenal glands to turn on the kidneys. Now you got a pretty good trinity right there. Now, also grab if you can afford it, grab the bowels. Clean up those bowels with it. So now you're starting to clean up the body in its vital areas. And you just keep going down that road there, my friend, and you'll be good with that. But when you do a lymphatic, always do a kidney. If you can do 2 kidneys and 2 lymphatics and adrenal gland, that's better. I always recommend the GI tract, stomach and bowel formula. Clean up the bowels. If you've never dewormed yourself, do a parasite M&G for a month. Deworm yourself. If you've never dewormed yourself, please deworm yourself. Watch your stools. Some of you won't see any, some of you will. If we had to drink a certain tea to clean our kidney lymph system out, which tea would you recommend in general? Heal all tea for sure. That baby does. I take that on a regular basis. That thing is so good. I love that formula. It's a blue ribbon formula. I put my chaparral back in there. Good formula. And it's just a good body cleanser. I put kidneys, I put lymphs, I put herbs for just a well-rounded detox in that one for people that just can't afford to have it. But I really created that tea initially for females with atypical cells. It'll turn those HPV atypical cells right around. What is your thoughts about creatine monohydrate supplements? I don't think you even have to ask. I've never heard of them. And I would never align myself with that kind of thinking. You know, again, more treatment-based thinking. So I wouldn't align myself with that kind of thinking anyway. It's an isolate. I remember how you think about out-of-body experiences you have had. I have wanted to try that, so I was just wondering, what are those people called that do that actually, so I can find them in my area? Well, that's a good question. I think it's a subject matter not a lot of people like to share because for fear that they'll be ridiculed. You know, and yet you have a lot of shows talking about people that had near-death experiences and what they've experienced. The thing is, you're all going to experience an out-of-body experience. All of you. So you better get used to it now, because you're going to have a big one of these days, and that's going to end this drama, but another drama will open up to you. Where are you going from here? So even though this sounds a little strange for some of you, you're all going to have one, because this is only a touch-and-go planet. We're here just like touch and goes. We're here, we're gone. All right, we play. We're here. We play. We create, and we end up creating and creating and creating. Keep locking ourselves in creation. At a time, though, someone's going to tap you on the shoulder and go, "Who are you really? Is this really you, or is this your creation?" And they're going to wake you up to the reality of who you are. And if we can help you do that, I'm real much obliged. Because that, in essence, is far better than health even. That is your survival forever. That is how you awaken to God consciousness, and there is nothing that comes close to that. Health was, for me, second. Nothing comes close to that experience. There's just no words. I remember how you talk exactly. So, but you practice that. You can practice some out-of-body experiences. And I've said one easy one is just to put yourself somewhere else. Just close your eyes and relax. Get yourself comfortable. Lay in a bed. Sit in a chair. Get yourself totally comfortable where you can forget that you're sitting there or that you're laying there. Find somewhere else to be. But be there totally. Put yourself at a place you love. And maybe it's a little cabin in the woods. Maybe it's sitting on the beach and feel the sand, smell the ocean, hear the seagulls, and put yourself there. You know, the simple one the Rosicrucians teach is when you're laying at night, you'll just relax totally and picture yourself from the ceiling looking down at yourself and keep trying to relax while you're looking down at yourself. And after a while, you'll pop right out. So these are fun things to play with. You should never be scared of anything. There's plenty of us in these inner worlds to help you. So there's nothing for you to be afraid of. It's becoming more you, not less you. That's what people don't realize, is that when you shed that which is illusionary, that which is temporary, you start to get that which is permanent, which is more real than that. So each one of these worlds you travel in become more real than this one. Pretty soon you wonder what this even was, because the view goes away. It's like turning away from something and looking at something else. This is gone now, because now you're looking over here. Then that's gone, and now you're looking over here. That's traveling. But the bottom line to traveling, who is the traveler? Who are you really? I was wondering, what is your opinion about blood type diet? Sorry, I had to throw up. This is Gaia Katz. When I get emotionally stressed, my upper back gets stiff. Yeah, me too. This has happening for years, but now my upper back feels numb at times. Well, that's because, remember, Kidneys, adrenals, L4, L5, right up the back. Absolutely. All your body. Whenever you're under stress, guess who shuts down? Your adrenals. Because they shift their neurotransmitters to your adrenals, your epinephrines and your norepinephrines. You're going to shut down your acetylcholines and your what's the other one? Come on, come on. It's not that early. Dopamine. So stress does that to you. And then you start feeling your acids and you're feeling your lymph system. And of course, you know, adrenaline stirs up everything on top of that. So absolutely. You have to learn to relax even in the event of stress, if you can. You know, it's a good lesson for me too. So definitely shows your lymph system is backed up there, and that you're losing your lower back maybe to an extent. You're getting the numbness. So and you remember that lymph swells and tightens, and that's how you feel. And you can suppress nerve flow easy, absolutely. So this goes back to the same thing. How interesting and how simplistic. This goes back to move your lymph, get your kidneys filtering, strengthen your adrenal glands. So when you're under stress, it doesn't bother you. Talk to the hand. The face isn't listening. It's not stressful. You only make it stressful if you have an agenda behind it. It's not stressful if you don't care. At my wit's end. Oh, wow. This is Candace. Hi, sweetheart. I have been suffering for at least 2 years with these stomach issues. I started after my second child, and I went back to work after about 3 months later. Nausea is my main symptom. I have not actually thrown up from this. Oh, good throw up is always good for you every once in a while. I juice a lot of ginger and lemon for a little relief. I have been learning about the raw food lifestyle for some time, but haven't been able to go fully raw yet. Not knowing what to do for quick relief, I went to a doctor to discuss with him what was going on. One doctor said anxiety, the other doctor did blood work and found something in my blood that indicated I may have a bacteria called H. pylori. So he tested with the breath test, and sure enough, it came back that I had this bacteria. You know, it's funny how we blame bacteria for everything. I bet they get tired of that. Not me. Terrain. What's going on in your stomach, sweetheart, and liver, or both? You know, this is the lymph system again, and if you've swallowed any toxic chemicals or chemical medication that absorbed in the stomach wall, and you're not moving your lymph system well, it's going to be there for a lifetime. Now again, nausea can also come from the back of the head and the cerebellum. That's the same nervous system that goes right down to the stomach, parasympathetic, but it joins with the sympathetic. So you've got all of that disturbance here. Nausea can come from up here where you have a lot of lymph going on in the back of the head. If you have a little dizziness, equilibrium, blood pressure seems to flip a little bit, you're right back here. Nausea can also occur from there. Also improper digestion, hepatic, liver problems. So you go into a body, sweetheart, Candace, you go in. This is where the herbs excel over the foods by far. First of all, they're not hybrids. They're meant for this. They were born for this. So they'll come help you. So this is where I get on the stomach and bowel formula. You can use Parasite M to kill stomach bacteria if you want. That's not the issue. The issue is the condition of your lymph system in the wall of the stomach. That's at issue. And then if any film you've got on the stomach, so any chemicals that are lodged in the wall. So you just want to start cleaning. I'd get on that stomach and bowel. I'd get on Lymphatic 1 capsules. That'll start pulling and drawing stuff out of the stomach, out of the liver. Go on the liver gallbladder cap. Do the first detox kit and really see where you are on that. If you have to use some aloe vera juice to put the herbs in, okay. Blah, 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 blah. But start cleaning that gut. GI broom. Whoo, whoo, whoo. That'll clean you. You start cleaning and opening up all these doors, Candace, and this is how you get over this. If you are getting up here, it's a major lymph problem. So you've got to get those kidneys and adrenals. No matter what you do, you got to get the kidneys and adrenals working for you. And so that's real important. And you'll start moving out of that nausea. I had stomach pain bad and nausea when tingling throughout my body. See, because that's the autonomic nervous system in the stomach. You're very inflamed there. And it's going to resonate out into the whole body because there's a nerve ganglia here. Sympathetic, parasympathetic. And this is a big deal. Solar plexus is a big deal. That's your second brain there. I was losing a lot of weight because I could not eat. So for quick relief and to hopefully try to gain some weight, I took his antibiotics, even though I know they were not good for me. Yep, that's a typical medical doctor right there. It must be easy to be a medical doctor. They see 40 to 50 clients a day, prescribe a little antibiotic all the time. Well, that's easy. I'm going to tell you, if a medical doctor sits in my chair and has to do this, he wouldn't do it much. I've had medical doctors sit here and say, there's no way I'm going to do what you do. I mean, it's just the way it is. You don't make the money, and obviously, you don't have to know a lot. No offense to any good medical doctor out there, no offense, but I mean, we got hurting people out here. You can't keep riding that bandwagon. You've got to get yourself, roll up your sleeves and start getting into what's causing these people's problems. I was losing a lot of weight, Well, my stomach hasn't been right since. No kidding. Yeah, your antibiotics will tear your stomach up, dear. You've got to do it this way. It's the only way to do it. I can't eat for days sometimes, and I even try juices, but these still make my stomach more uneasy. Now, I'll have to say this, Candace, if you don't get this now, you'll get to the point where you can't even take water down. And then you're getting in real trouble, sweetheart. You got to work yourself out of this because you can start developing gastroparesis, which is paralysis of the stomach. And that's where you're kind of headed right now. And you want to back away from that or you won't be able to hold anything down at all. So you got to back away from this and start listening to these videos and walking this road because I've had a lot of your case, thousands of your cases. And I can tell you where you're going to go if you don't deal with this right now. And you're going to be a lot less happier in the future than you are even now. So you got to back away from this and take care of this right. That's why I see at my wit's end. And you're going to have to let us help you work you through that because some people are so bad. It's like go here, take a right, take a left. Slowly work your way with this or that or this thing. It just depends. This depends how I run. I don't know what's going on, but I am under a lot of stress. I have to stay working, and I have to be able to care for my 2 young children. Well, you have to do it in a way, sweetheart. You got to get your adrenals up where you're strong, and you're a strong mom, and you're a strong woman. And there where you don't work with stress. Don't care. Just do. Just work. Don't take it in. Don't think about anything. Think about, I'm just going to eat well and get myself healthy. That way I can get my children healthy because my genes are sitting there in front of me. And what's going on with me has the potential to be worse with my kids. Get mama well and then get babies well, dear. Unable to care for my 2 kids. I am also highly irritable. I am also not sure if this is the bacteria. Forget the bacteria. Maybe that'll never, because you fight the bacteria, you'll never get well, and you'll never be well, and you'll be a nightmare from hell like you took the antibiotics. That's the problem. They don't get it. So you've got to clean the terrain, sweetheart. You got to clean why that bacteria is there. Don't blame the bacteria. They're not the problem. The terrain, the conditioning, the culturing medium. Cleared up. I am also frequently constipated. Well, you want to get up on a stomach and bowel number like a number 2 or number 3 that keeps your bowels moving. At the same time, I get my adrenals up, get the brain and nerve for me, empower your peristalsis. At the same time, move lymph because your lymph, again, this is a case where you might have interstitial lymphatic constipation. You have your lymph system in the wall of the stomach, in the wall of the small bowel, in the wall of the liver, in the wall of the colon, locked. And when it gets locked, it gets hardened, and you don't have good bowel movements. Peristalsis is more difficult because everything's becoming dehydrated or anionic. Please help me. I would some advice on what I could do to feel better. Absolutely, Candace. Everything right there is for you, sweetheart. And if you need help, call in. Dr. Morse, a Herbert Shelton audio course I have here here labeled natural hygiene seems pretty much identical. Yeah, I love those people. It's good stuff. You know, truth is truth, and everything has pieces of it, absolutely. I believe in the fruit detoxes, though, and that higher level of thinking, but certainly, for the average person, the natural hygienic is perfect. Perfect. They had it down good. And seems pretty much identical in terms of your ideas and ethics and natural healing and lifestyle changes, but why is it his natural hygiene system outlaws herbs? I don't know why they feel herbs are toxic. I know the Canadian natural hygienic movement was really down on the herbs, and I'm saying you're full of crap. That's your problem. These are vegetables, man, and they're vital to our healing at this point. But that's the only thing I found that there's a little off on. That's not bad. You can learn out of that one by using herbs on yourself. But as far as the foods and the ideas, this is a coursework they had. This is a PhD course. You want knowledge of chemistry and everything else, this is a good place to get it. Incredible coursework. Just incredible coursework. I don't know if they still offer it. Feeling Fit. Part of what Harvey Diamond was doing was trying to ignite, I think, energy into the natural hygienic movement, and I think it had the opposite effect. And of course, I think that's because he himself couldn't stay raw. Are herbs something that should become a part of people's lives? Oh, absolutely. I'm telling you, it's part of all the animals' lives. And I tell you what, for those that have been on our herbs and seen the magical differences, let me tell you. And it's just the fact that herbs are they're put here for the reason. They're put here. They have their karma. They have their consciousness. They're here to help you. Never fear that. Never fear that. Uh-oh, I got to get going. Hey there, a sherbet. Oh, this is the one I just read. Thanks, John. A lot of good stuff in the natural. There's just a lot of good books out there, but remember, you guys are going to take all that and all what I've done, and you're going to make it better. That's exciting. You people like, there's 4 or 5 groups of you right now I could just think of, from Dimitri to all you guys, and you guys are just kicking butt. You guys get it. Your minds are sharp, and you guys are going to really do this justice. And we all appreciate that if you do, too. And you always keep it as pure as you can, you know. And then let those people that want to augment it to something go ahead. It doesn't matter. Take what you can out of truth and use it to where you need to use it. No one's over you with a club or an opinion. I don't judge any of you guys. To judge you, I have to judge myself. You know, and it's like, okay, you know, we're all one. We're just on a rock spinning through space. It's a little difficult to live on right now, you know, and especially at this physical grunt level. And so man's suffering and trying to get ideas and opinions because truth has been a little locked away. The doors have been there. Natural hygienic doors have been there for a long time. Fruitarian doors have been there for a long time. It's just that each generation needs to pick and put together for that level of thinking. And now it's time for this level that we've got here, because if you notice, we still struggle with some cases. And I hate that, but we still struggle with some cases. And I'd like to be able to accelerate our ability to help people. So we'll see as time goes on. Okay, I got to run here. This is from Mike Post. Hi, Dr. Morris. This is Mike living in Japan. Hello. I had emailed you once before talking about hybrid herbs. I have been watching all your videos, and I have been piecing a list of the top detoxifying fruits together. All right. I was wondering if you could put up your top 10 list. Lemons, grapes, watermelons. Well, that's a good idea, Mike. Heck yeah. I'll put them up there, what I think. But I don't know a lot of the tropical fruits, unfortunately. There's so many great tropical fruits. Yeah, I'll put this aside and do this. Gosh, I got so much here, guys. I just feel like I'm not getting to you like I should, but I'm doing my best. Gosh, there's so much to answer here. But keep sending them in, and I'll keep plugging along, and we'll get everybody taken care of, okay? All right. So, to all of you guys, thank you so much. Thank to you, all you practitioners, you medical doctors, you naturopaths, you homeopaths, you acupuncturists, your massage therapists, all you guys, your colon therapists, all you guys that are in, now turn your attention toward the wellness of man. Listen, you got a lot of help in areas that you might not be aware of. Thank you so much.